Few names in Kenyan politics spark as much debate and intrigue as Babu Owino.
So it doesn't mean that if the others have failed before, that I'm going to fail. I wasn't born a failure. My mother did not give birth to a stupid person.
The outspoken Embakasi East Member of Parliament has built a reputation as a fearless leader, a staunch defender of his constituents, and a politician unafraid to challenge the status quo.
The other day you saw our very great governor going to pour his brains at Stima Plaza.
Think you know Babu Owino? Think again. We caught up with him on today's episode of Beyond the Headlines as we go beyond the sound bites and find out more about the man behind the title.
You are welcome. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yeah.
What makes you different from other politicians?
And there's nothing different about Babu Owino. Babu Owino is a person who was elected to work for his constituents and to work for Kenyans, doing the work of legislation, oversight and representation as a member of parliament. Having a following means that there's enough trust for me that is bestowed by Kenyans, and they've seen that I've delivered the services that I promised my constituents, and having trust day by day, knowing that one day I may deliver them from the shackles of oppression and the bondage of poverty. And as Babu Owino, the reason why the youth might feel that they are following me is because of the work that I do at Embakasi's constituency. This didn't start yesterday. It started some years back at the University of Nairobi when I was the president of the University of Nairobi Students Association, SONU. And therefore, the good work that we did made also the great people of Embakasi East to poach us, to ensure that we work for them. And that is why I'm here today.
And you spend almost an hour in your office, and we've actually seen you interact firsthand with your people. Yeah? How is it for you, like sitting and listening to these stories and finding solution for your people?
You know, and leadership is about others. The main reason why we are elected as a leader is to work for our people. And even the Bible says that he who wants to be the greatest among you must first agree to be the least among you. A leader must be a servant. Leadership is about servanthood. You must serve your people. You must listen to the challenges that your people are facing. When I come to this office, I come to this office with an intention to serve. I might not provide 100% solution that everybody needs, but that percentage that I shall provide will take them a long way. And I do this because today, if you tell me that you are going without food, I know what it is to go without food. Because at some point in my life, I went without food. If a lady comes here and tells me that her child has been sent away from school, I know what it is to lack school fees. Because at some point in my life, I lacked school fees. And that is the reason why, if I look at you, I remember my mom struggling to raise us up, to raise me up, to look for fees, doing very odd jobs to ensure that we went to school. And if I look at a fellow youth, I see myself in that youth. I know that that youth, when given an opportunity, can even be better than Babu Owino. And that is why I take my time respectfully to serve my people, because I know that this work comes from God.
And Mheshimiwa, you want to be the next governor. What makes you think that you will succeed in this field where the former governor Evans Kidero and Mike Sonko and the current sitting governor are actually struggling with?
Save for Mike Sonko, that I say that had challenges from the time that he was elected, that he didn't get an opportunity to serve his people. For him, I will not talk about him. The other culprits, these are people who are given opportunity to serve people, but clearly they did not. Nairobi County has a budget that should be followed. The main challenges facing Nairobians are, number one, poor road network, together with the drainage system. When it rains in Nairobi only for 30 minutes, then
it's chaotic.
Then there will be a Lake Nairobi and so many rivers feeding that lake from different highways and different areas. Number two, there is insufficient supply of water in Nairobi. In Nairobi, we are approximately 5 million Nairobians. By the night, by the day, we could be around 8 million Nairobians, because there are people flowing from other parts of this country that in the evening, they leave to those different counties. An average person in Nairobi should consume about 60 liters of water in a day. That is taking shower, drinking, cooking, bathing, washing clothes, averagely 60 liters. Therefore, Nairobians, the amount of water that they use in a day is 300 million liters of water in a day. The good news is that where we get the supply of water in Nairobi is from Ndakaini Dam, Spring Valley Dam. Then there is the Northern Tunnel that was recently constructed. They supply 546 million liters of water in a day. So then the question is, if we only need 300 in a day and we are being supplied with 546 million in a day, therefore, why is it that Nairobians are still not getting sufficient supply of water?
Why do you think that is happening?
The answer is simple. Number one is because of poor governance and leadership. Why am I saying so? Because there are cartels in this Nairobi who block these pipes with an intention to sell water. The leaders that are elected go to bed with these cartels so that they are also part of that cartelism that is siphoning money from Nairobians. Number two, there are those pipes that were fixed from the early 1960s to date. So those pipes, the infrastructure that was set up for water, they get corroded, they have leakages, so the water is also lost through leakages. Then there's a mixture of the sewer, right? Water is mixed with the sewer and then gets contaminated, so those goes to wastage. Sewerage and sanitation, the cleanliness, the garbage. The other day you saw our very great governor going to pour his brains at Stima Plaza. What is that? This is a cosmopolitan city. This is the hub for business for the East African community. If a tourist goes there at Ambassador now, you will be surprised what the clock is saying. The clock is reading midnight. A tourist going there now, which means even pesa ya battery imepotea. So if we can't even manage a clock and to know the time in Nairobi, then what can we manage as Nairobians? But this generally shows you that these leaders lack organization skills. Number two, they lack the passion and the energy to work for the people.
Yeah.
Number three, they intentionally want to punish Nairobians. Because there's a budget that is fixed for Nairobi. Right now, we have a budget of 42 billion to provide services for Nairobians. But what is happening? Doctors are now not being paid in Nairobi. The medical sector, number four, challenge. Why can't we employ sufficient enough medics in terms of nurses, doctors, and the support staff so that we can get proper medical services in Nairobi and pay them well? The medical equipment, the drugs. So when we talk about the challenges that are facing Nairobians, also unemployment, how are you solving the issue of unemployment?
Yeah.
We have garbage here in Nairobi. This garbage can be converted into energy. How do we do that? By construction of a factory that will burn all that garbage and boil the water to produce steam. That steam will turn the turbines to produce energy. There'll even be competition that will provide to Kenya Power, and they lower their rates. The moment they lower their rates, there will be high demand for electricity. The moment they raise their rates, there will be low demand for electricity. The moment they lower their rates and there's high demands, even the government collects more revenue. And even in Nairobi, we are planning to make it a 24-hour economy. I want to be a different type of a leader. And a leader that is going to ensure that services are rendered to Nairobians. That is what I want to be. So it doesn't mean that if the others have failed before, that I'm going to fail. I wasn't born a failure. My mother did not give birth to a stupid person. She gave birth to a person who is competent. And I was competent from birth to now. Yes.
Well said. And you were recently ranked top performing MP in the country. What are those things that you've done for your people that actually makes you stand out?
I told you leadership is about being a servant, doing the right thing at the right time. Up to now, we've constructed a total of 82 tarmac roads. We have done a secondary school that has 60 rooms in total. And we are going there, you will see that secondary school. It's called Donholm Secondary School. 3 phases, right? We've done classrooms in all the public primary and secondary schools, additional classrooms, plus laboratories. Okay? In addition to that, we bought buses to all the public schools. Both public, primary, and secondary school. We bought all buses for those schools. We've been distributing bursaries. There is nowhere in this country where bursaries are distributed in a very fair way, free and fair way, where I call the parents, they come, they collect the forms, then I write a check, go back to them, I give them checks myself, so that nobody gets an opportunity to say that you're a leader, that their checks disappeared. They don't need to blame me, to blame any other person. Why? Because I give them checks directly. So when it comes to education, we've worked. We've sunk a total of 20 boreholes in Embakasi East to help in provision of water. And in addition to that, the companies within Embakasi East constituency, on a weekly, on a monthly basis, we ask them for opportunities where we get jobs for our people within Embakasi East, even in supermarkets, even in shops, even at the airport, Coca-Cola, Kemsa, containers. When we get opportunities, we give to our people, irrespective of the nature of the job, because everybody in Embakasi East can do something. So those are some of the things that we've done. And above all, in Embakasi East, we put God first. Okay?
Yes.
So
and moving on, how is your relationship with Baba today?
My relationship with Baba is extremely okay. Of course, that is Baba. Baba is my political leader. And Baba, even in a family, there could be issues here and there, but you don't allow it to go under your skin. Those are normal things, even in a family. So in a political setup, I know that Baba is my political father. So I have no problem with him. And I believe that he has no problem with me because I'm his son.
And we did not see you at KICC recently during the signing of the MOU. Kenyans want to know, ulikuwa wapi when it was happening?
Do you think Kenyans were happy by me not going there, or they were unhappy? What do you think?
You tell me.
You said they want to know. So me not going to KICC was because of, number one, I had other important and urgent things to attend to. That is service to my people. My people are supreme, they come first. Sometimes, even in a family, you might not agree 100%.
True.
There are some ideological differences that we have. Baba joining Ruto is not a bad thing. But Baba joining Ruto and Ruto not working to Kenyans is not a good thing. Right? So if Baba is joining Ruto and Ruto is working for Kenyans, then we don't have a problem. We just want to see the cost of living coming down, over taxation going down. Okay? We just want to see our youth, young men and women getting jobs. We just want to see services being rendered. We want to see SHA working. Those are the things that we want. Me going there or not was not going to add any value to anybody.
Kenyans just keep on complaining. We have the same complaint. We have SHA is not working. Education is expensive. Healthcare. Why is that happening? Why does it keep on repeating itself?
Because there is no proper organization within the government. When you're in government, when you are running a country, you must run a country using professionals. Professionals who are not also greedy, because you can also get professionals who are greedy. Give people jobs based on meritocracy. Everybody can work anywhere. If you see that this person, you're making him to be a cabinet secretary, he's an engineer, and you take him to be a cabinet secretary for health, then you expect disaster, right? Because leadership is where everybody leads from the point of being ignorant. In fact, all leaders are ignorant. Why am I saying so? Because you are a journalist, yet you know nothing about medicine. I'm an actuary, yet I know nothing about agriculture, right? So a leader is a person who is expected to solve challenges of all doctors, and he knows nothing about medicine. All engineers, he knows nothing about engineering. All journalists, he knows nothing about journalism. All bishops, and he doesn't know how to go to heaven. Nothing about spirituality. All thieves, who expect their interest to be catered for, and he knows nothing about thievery, right?
To be fair, that's a tall order.
Then you expect that leader to deliver in all that. So leadership is about, this is the only bus that you drive from the back. You don't drive it from the front. So therefore you ask yourself, what are our leaders doing? They are driving this bus from the front. They know it all. They are the best doctors, they are the best engineers, they are the best thieves, they are the best bishops. You need to let those professionals to guide you in their different fields, so that you let the doctors to guide you about their challenges and how to solve them. But if you know it all, you will not get any solution. And again, there's a lot of confusion within the government. You know, and you don't need to be dead right. When you're driving a car and your car is at the front, there's a truck at the front and you're following this car. Do you have a right to overtake this car? Yes. Right? If there's an oncoming car, what will happen to you? You will crash.
Collide, yeah.
And you will die. So you had a right to overtake this car. But you will be dead right. Do you need to be dead right? So the right solution is, buy time, let this oncoming car pass, then overtake. So we have a big problem when it comes to leadership in this country. The failures that we experience them because of the top leadership in this country. And the top leadership must know that they are not serving themselves. They must know that they are serving Kenyans. If you hear the arrogance within which people are talking, and I advise you and I advise other leaders that anytime you go up, remember to be humble. Because when you go up and you're not humble, then the gravity that you will fall with will be too dangerous for you. And let your leadership be consultative. You can't know it all. Consult people. So for me, I cannot subscribe to such type of leadership, because I want to be a different kind of a leader. I want to do the right thing because that is what I should do anyway. So things are failing because of lack of proper organization.
And looking back when you were starting in politics back at Sonu and all that, you were this combative, you know, the king of comeback kind of a leader. Right now, I see a humble guy. I see someone who interacts with people at that level. How did that transition happen for you?
Anyway, one, there's always a Saul moment and a Damascus moment where Saul transformed from being a Saul to a Paul, right? And by there I'm also called Paul. So I think this is just something that may happen. But I never used to be aggressive nor combative.
You
I
are
used
the
to
king
be,
of comebacks.
I used to be passionate. Passionate about the challenges that were facing comrades. Passionate to ensure that no school fee was increased to any comrade, because I know that those comrades are coming from very, very humble backgrounds. I was passionate to ensure that there was proper security at the university. I was passionate to ensure that HELB released money on time, because without HELB, no comrade could go to class. No comrade could access accommodation. No comrade could get money to buy food. So I was not combative, I was passionate. Passionately fighting for comrades. Yes.
And as we wind up, what are your plans for the people of Embakasi East?
The plans that I have for them is to build more roads for them, build more schools. In fact, I'm starting a few schools in the next like 2-3 weeks. I'll be building another new school at Tasia Primary School. I want to do another new school at Utawala, a public primary school. Then I want to do roads also. There are also some of the roads that we experience in Embakasi East. There are some of the challenges. Poor road networks are still there in Embakasi East. That's why I still have this time to work. That's why I scored 72% in my performance rating, being the best. But the 28% were still feeling that I've not served them well. So I also want to convince this 28% by doing some of the things that I have not done within Embakasi.